Greetings. I don't say hello. It means go to low hell. Hello. You say, oh, well, you're just under the words. It's vibration. It's sound. This reality comes from sound, from light, from sound. You see. And so that's why it's so important for us to really know what we're speaking into manifestation in every single moment. What we're thinking, what we're emotionalizing, what we're believing, what we're giving our power to. My topic, the absolute truth that always is. I write one of the columns that I write in magazines. When I wrote in absolute, I had capital A, and I've noticed as they printed it, they made a small a. Well, because they didn't accept that, or they don't know it, or they don't understand it, so they're changing my writing to fit their opinion or their belief system. So I will, I need to change that because that doesn't operate that way. And I would call myself an absolutist, but that's again a label, because labels are always blunks, and a blunk is we just categorize everybody in, fundamental Christians are a blunk. You get Muslims a blunk. You get Hindus a blunk. You get Republican blunk, Democrat blunk, this blunk, that blunk. And now we'll put you in another blunk. And that means you can discredit everything of value in that. You just throw everything out because it's a no-no. For me, for what I've done, because I go and study and read those things. People say, oh, you don't. Why? Who are you to tell me don't? And every time you give your power away, here, pretty soon you have complete dependence on everyone or anything for your so-called survival. You don't need to survive. You are eternity. To even believe in the word survival is such a pitiful self-attack that a person would do to themselves. And we do it to ourselves. The system is set up that we police ourselves, that we abuse ourselves, that we believe all of this nonsense that we have been taught to accept about who we really are. And so the key is, and I say I'm an absolutist because, here I'll tell you why. Duality is a fragmented reality. That means it's a separate reality. So both sides of the coin need the other side. Each side needs the other side to exist. So like light and the other side is dark. So light and dark, in that sense, it have to exist. But light doesn't see the dark and the dark doesn't see the light, but yet they're together. And one of the things you want to look at is it's not either or. Don't be taking sides. Because when you're taking sides, what you're doing, you're also generating the other side. It can't operate if you don't take a side. That means how you win a game is you don't play. Because if it's a loser game and you're a sucker to play a loser game, and that hooks us into that game for some reason. We're getting some maybe excitement, we're getting to forget something else or whatever it may be. But this relativity is a separation. It is, in a sense, you might say, when the divine light, which is not like we think light, but our divine beingness, shines through a crystal, it splits into rainbows, it splits into colors, it splits into also basically sound and magnetism. So here you have how this reality operates. How do you operate? And how does that mind operate? And what's going on here? You see, this isn't taught to you in schools or anything, not at all. Because you'd know who you are. You don't need, it's like setting a child down and saying, well, I'm going to teach you something because you're stupid and you don't know anything. No, you want to be able, what would you do for an education is to create environments and opportunities for the person to actually really dig deep to develop and know what they really know and how to observe and how to access unlimited knowledge from within the self, you see. And the absolute then is not a fractured reality. And it contains both sides. So if you say male and female, that male needs a female and a female needs a male to exist, yes, in a duality, then, and also then people become fragmented. And when you acknowledge your wholeness, you would take both those male and female qualities. I'm not talking about man woman bodies. I'm not talking about bodies. I'm talking about qualities of beingness, and that qualities of beingness. So when I bring both the female and the male, when I take my right, my left brain, and I marry them, I own all my powers, then I'm whole, because I already was, but I was believing in relativity and fragmentation. And when we believe in this fragmentation, and we believe in all of what science tells you about what humans are, and that human beings are animals, and then if you eat animals, of course you can eat a human. Why? Because they're an animal. No. And what happens is we are not these physical bodies. We are the absolute. You and I are part of the absolute. We are absolutes. We are what is real. And that is, and all of everything is in a sense, this is this outer creation. It's an outer manifestation. It is an outer reflection of our state of consciousness, our state of mind. And if we don't know how that mind operates, we don't know how, war is created, or conflict is created, or disease is created, or any of these, we begin to believe this is all natural, part of nature. Well, we see, in nature, there's natural disasters. Wonder if there aren't. Wonder if that's all a lie. Wonder if they say, animals would kill and eat each other. Wonder if that wasn't the way it was originally. Wonder if that's not really the way it is in the absolute. Wonder if that isn't. But in the relative, you see, you've got to have an enemy. You've got to have a war. You've got to have fear. You've got to have, because that's the mind. That's the mind is based on fear. And when you use that and you make your choices from fear and from guilt, and then that guilt is in how many parents are always feeling they did the wrong thing and they're trying to make up for it. So they also believe their children can't take care of themselves. So they're going to do everything for the child because they really believe that the child is a loser, is a failure, has no power, is stupid, and can't maintain themselves. You see what's happening? And then you're going to solve it. You're going to do it for them, which you're basically disempowering the person because you don't believe that they can. Sure, you want to empower them, but you have to look at how does that operate so that you're not depowering them and keeping them in this limited, what would you say, suffering type of a scenario in essence to get what you want. So there's the absolute, which is the truth that always is. And as a practitioner, you see, as a practitioner of spiritual mind healing, learning this, through Ernest Holmes and Joel Goldsmith, and actually the teachings of Jesus, and also if you great of the mystics of any religion. Forget that. It's about who we really are. And so the absolute then is of love. Love has no opposite. Fear is not the opposite of love, because then you're demoting love to the level of fear, that fear needs love to exist and love needs fear to exist. Really? So if something is teaching that, that's a lie. And that is to give the power to fear as if it's on an equal basis. There is no evil that exists, and in the absolute there is no evil. And you can even see the word evil is backwards is lived. You see, live, and the backwards is you're not living. And it's actually a death sentence. It's a mortgage. It's that this reality. And when you're in the absolute and you stay in that state of consciousness, then that consciousness or that state is then manifesting in your reality, regardless of anyone else's reality, you see. And the only way, let me say, that for us to really tune ourselves into the absolute, the truth that always is to really realize that any and every world problem happening to any creature on any level, any dimensions, any of this baba and the layer and the construct and the destruct and the this and that, it's in the mind. And so when you know that, and that's the key, that's what you work with, that's what you study, that's what you focus on, you see. And you do this as a way of living, and then in every aspect of your being, even your life's work, everything is a sacred, mystical, divine experience. Because now you're getting to experience the absolute that always is, and is harmonious and empowering and nurturing of you as who you really are. And you don't wait until you leave your body. You don't wait for the next thing. You don't wait and blah, blah, blah until, no, it's now. Right now. The absolute that always is now.